Okay, so we are live, and yeah, welcome again to week 5. Um, it hasn't been an easy journey for any of you, like I said earlier, and I'm happy that you are still pursuing this career path. It's a nice career path, It's a nice career path. So keep giving in your best efforts, keep bringing out your best efforts, and keep partaking in these classes. It's very important, and it's going to help a lot of you just the same way it's helping me. So today we're talking on let me share my screen. Okay, kindly react if you can see my screen. Yeah, sure. So this is our topic for today. Designing for different platforms, app and web. So in product design, UI UX, as most people know it as, you can design interfaces for applications and you can design interfaces for websites. So today we'll be talking about how you can design for applications and make it look good for applications, and how you can design for websites, for websites and make it look good for websites. So when I say applications, I mean like a mobile view, just the same way you look at websites from your phone, and the difference in how you design it to look okay from your laptop and your monitors. So going forward, we have our first sub topic for today. So whether you should design for the mobile first or for the desktop screens first. So we refer to monitors and laptop as desktop because I think you've been taught about artboards and frames. So the monitor makes use of a 14 by 40 frame. Let me show you for what I mean. So the monitor and wide screens use 14 by 40. 14 by 40 here. So they use these screens of these sizes. The next screen we should look at is tablets. So I think this is the commonly used tablet screen size. Okay, here's another desktop. Okay, this is tablets, and then you have one for mobile. So we'll be talking about how to design websites and applications so that it will be responsive, not actually responsive for today, just how to design for these different interfaces. It's going to be the same website, but it's going to appear different on mobile, on tablets, and on desktop. So going forward, let's say you want to design for a mobile phone first of all. You want to start from the mobile view and scale up to the desktop view. So if you want to design for mobile, you start with phone screens, then you focus on the most important actions, making use of clean layouts, bigger buttons, and a simple UI. You on a mobile phone, if I design for a mobile phone, you don't want the text there and the buttons to be so much or a lot. You want it to be simple so users can understand that this is what we have to press, this is what we have to click, this is the message this app is passing to us. It's not supposed to be ambiguous. For example, look at this. Let's say you find stuff like this on the mobile phone. You see there are a lot of information on this screen here, on this junior website here. You see there's a lot of information here, and I don't think you want this many information on one screen on your phone. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be jam-packed and you will not know where to click. So when you are designing for a mobile phone, when you start from mobile phone, you minimize the things that are going to appear on a particular screen and shape it into buttons, shape it into frames, um into different aspects. You reduce it and make the layout to be very clean and simple. We run some examples so you understand what I'm saying. Probably not today, but from the next class. But yeah, just get what I'm saying. If you don't understand, you can still raise your hand, and I will give you the platform to speak. So when you design from small screens to bigger screens, you make your buttons obvious, you make the layout simple, and the UI has to be clean, just like Sportybet, as you can see. Sportybet, we know, has a website. This is the website. You can see there are a lot of information on this screen alone, a lot of information on this screen, but in the mobile view, you can see how simple it looks. These live, all sports, games, virtual, and the rest of them is probably more than this, and it was reduced to more. Instead of adding all of them here, so here will be so much or so filled up, they reduced it to more. If you check it out here, there are a lot of them here. There are a lot of them here, and it's still even channeled into more more sports. So you don't have to jump pack everywhere. So the UI looks clean. You can see how clean the UI looks and easily accessible. You can see, right? So if you look at other views, like here now, you can see that this game has different options of playing here. Same thing here, but that same game here, games on this page now have been reduced to only three options here as well. And if you now want to see more on this game, you can click it and have more view like this. You get. So the idea now is you make the layout simple, but now it requires more clicks. Something that you would have seen easier on a web view with just a single view, single look, and a straight click. You just have to tap your screen twice or thrice to find that particular option. But yeah, the UI is going to be simple and it's going to be easily accessible because of the buttons you will use to represent it. So if you go into the desktop view now, so if you decide to design from the desktop first and resize it for tablet view and then resize it for mobile view, you are going to start designing from a screen size of 14 by 40, sometimes 19 by 20 for wider screens. Let me show you what I mean. So this is 14 by 40 here. If this is another 14 by 40, but I'm going to make it 19 by 20 now. So it's going to be wider. I know some of us have seen curved monitors. So normally this one here is the size of a laptop, the screen size of a laptop. But this one is for monitors, especially wide and curved monitors. So you can as well design from here and move down to here and scale it down to this and then scale it down to mobile view. So if you decide to design from a desktop first, note you are going to have enough space for sidebars, tables, and multi-column layouts, because one thing with websites, it's not a simple view like the mobile screen that you have to shorten a lot of things and take out a lot of things, reduce the content there and make it simple. In the web view, you bring out everything. You bring everything to the table and the user sees everything and they now choose what to make use of. Are you getting me? So it's you can take these if you want to design for web, yes, you can actually start designing, especially when you're working for dashboards or landing pages, SaaS as well, SaaS websites. Yeah, I've talked about dashboards, admin panels as well, yes, and websites of 5, 6 pages. Let's look at let's still look at this again. Let's look at this. So on this sporty bet again, don't know why I'm using sporty bet. It's not like I play bets a lot, so you guys will not. Mhm. So yeah, I'm using this sporty bet now to show you something. I said when you are working with desktop first, you have more space for sidebars, tables, and multi-column layouts. So you can see that on this page, there are a lot, of information here. I mean, so you see this is like a multi-column layout. It's much, You can click this view all now, and you see that the information on the page that is loading here is a lot. The information here is a lot, and you don't want it a lot like this on the mobile. So first of all, make it like this on the web view. Then as you reduce it to fit into mobile screen, there are ways you can channel these informations, and it will still give you a good output. So yeah, that's for the first slide. So the second slide, we have guidelines for iOS and Android. So when you are designing for iOS, you need to consider the human interface guidelines. So we know that iOS designs are normally clean, minimal, and smooth, with rounded corners, blur effects, simple icons, bottom tabs, and swipe gestures. Look at this thing, for example, here. We know that when we see this screen, we automatically know that this application has been designed for an iPhone, because there are a lot of curves here. You can see the curves. There are a lot of curves on this application. Know that this application has been designed for iPhone. You don't normally see applications like this on Android. Speaking from experience, I use both phones, and I know that this is not there is no application like this on Android. This has been specifically designed for an iPhone. You understand? So you can see how rounded it is, simple and minimalistic, just like we are told here. It's smooth as well, with rounded corners, blur effects, simple icons, and the rest of them. Take a look, for instance. Okay, before we take a look, Android is usually made of bold, colorful structure with floating action buttons, shadows, ADP grid, dynamic themes, and expressive components. So if you look at these two images, this one here, sorry. So this one here, this first one is OP, designed for iOS device. Is OP designed for iOS device, and you can see how it looks kind of different, although it's the same UI that we normally see in the Android. Just that the curves here, if you notice, if you look clearly and compare it to the one on your Android phone, the curves here are more. The curves on the um, iOS, and I think there has been an upgrade as well. So the new version, you will see that the curves there are more. It has more rounded corners and some blur effects compared to the Android view. You can also see that this is OP as well. You can see how it looks here. This is OP as well, but for Android. You see that the difference is clear. When you design for Android, you design for Android. When you design for iOS, you design for iOS. Although it's the same app, but there are differences. You can notice that some of the Android designs here, the designs on the Android UI, are using more dynamic themes. You can see stuff like this, expressive components. Think around this section. This is probably a component. I'm sure you've been taught about components. Yeah, so it uses components, and it has not so rounded edges. Not so rounded edges like here. You can see here, not so rounded edges compared to the one we have here. This one here as well, this one and this one. So these are some of the things to note when you're designing for iOS and Android. There are also like a cheat sheet. There's a cheat sheet, so it's something called a cheat sheet. So it's a sheet comprising of Android design guidelines and iOS design guidelines. So whenever you are designing, you make use of these cheat sheets in order to get better. And as you keep practicing, as you are growing, These guidelines will become part of you, and you know um, how to use it when you're designing for any of the platforms. So going forward, there is something called grid system. There's something called grid system. So when you are designing for different platforms, like the mobile, the tablets, and the desktop devices, there are specific grids for each of these. So then when you're designing for a mobile phone, the grid there is a 4 points grid. On the tablet is 8 points grid, and on the desktop is a 12 points grid. So you can see it's 12 columns, 8 columns, and 4 columns. So we said in iOS and Android it's 4 point grid. That's 4 to 6 columns. So it can be four, it can be six. Let's look at it here. Let's look at it here. So let's add a grid here. So you go to layout guide. Go to layout guide, you press plus, make the grid 4. Set it to columns first. Say the 4 columns, 4 columns. So you can use 4 to 6. I will make this a bit. Let's make it darker a bit. Then this is our 4 points column. There are still some changes we make to this, but yeah, you can see how it is. There is almost the same thing here. So another thing, one reason why we do this here is because if you look at our former screen, notice that the content here didn't reach the end, right? Same thing here, the content didn't reach the end. The content here didn't reach the end. There's white space. White space is very important, so people will understand your content. Your content should be in the center. Your design should be in the center. These spaces are these edges. These edges here. These spaces here. These spaces here that doesn't make your design overflow to the edge are very important. That is why we have these grids. That is why we have these grids. And each of these grids now, we said that the mobile has 4, the tablet has 8, so 8 columns, 8 columns. Then these ones have 12. Okay, these one have 12. Don't have 12, sorry. Don't have 12. And this one, the biggest screen size, 1920, has 16. It has 16. So why is this thing important now? Let's say, for instance, you want to design on your mobile. You need to create white space. When I say white space, I mean a safe area where your design doesn't stretch out to. And that safe area is usually referred to as margin. It's found at the edge, by the left edge and the right edge. Then this white space here in between are called the gutter. So I will show you how important gutters are, and let's talk about margin now. So you can give a margin of 20 for mobile. You can give a margin of 20. You can use a margin of 80, margin of 80 for tab. Okay, let's leave it at 60. Then we can use 100 here. We can use 100. And we can use 120, or sorry, 150. Exactly, you can use 150. So these are safe areas now. Here is a safe area. Your design will not extend up to this point. Here as well, this white space here at the edge, here and here. So if, for instance, you have a frame here, with let's give it like we give it white. No, let's give it another color. It's going to be like a wireframe. We now have like some other things here. So this is like a second. Okay. Okay, so this is a sample UI with wireframing, just low fidelity wireframe. And this now, if we turn off our layouts grid, we can see that this looks okay compared to, let's say for instance, now we didn't do layouts grid, and this stuff here is as wide as this, and this one is like as wide as this. So the edge also wide. This one is also wide. You can see that this stuff is less organized, and the information you get on this UI is going to be more organized and more clear than the one you get here, because these things are overflowing. You don't even know where what is starting from, and you don't know where you are looking at. It's not clear, it's not straight to the point. But if you look here, you see that okay, this white here is making us, the white at the edges, making us focus on the center and see the content at the center, right? So okay, yeah, that is for layout. It's the same thing, the grid system, sorry. It's the same thing for this web view and the tablet view as well. So you focus your design in the center of the screen, outside the margin, inside the screen, outside of the margin, inside the screen. And if you are somebody that, which is very important, it's not like it's optional. As a designer, you should make use of what's it called, grid, a lot grid, or should I say alignments. These spaces in between these two pink boxes, these two pink rectangles, pink columns, these spaces are called gutter. So let's say, for instance, you want a frame like this, you want it to be equal across all screens. You are going to use three gutters like this. I'm sorry, three columns like this. And if you want it at a specific size, your gutter is what is going to determine it. Let's say the gutter here currently is 20. If we reduce it to 10, sorry. So you see it's smaller now. And if you make it like 50, you see how big it is, right? So if you can see that this box now is not aligning properly with like three of the columns that we chose earlier. So if you want like alignment, maybe we are designing like a what we offer section, what we do. You can tell them that you do UI UX in this frame. You can duplicate the frame. Tell them you do front-end development here. You can tell them that you do graphics design here. You can tell them that you do blockchain development on this other frame here. So with this now, you notice that the spacing are equal. Spacing are equal. You don't have much to exactly. So this is 10. This is 10. And it should be 10 as well. Okay. Let me adjust it. It's going to be equal because of this grid system that we use. Okay. Let me know if there is any question. I think we've gone far for now. So before we continue, if there is any question, let me handle. Okay, Godwin, you have a question. Godwin, you have a question. Godwin, let's hear your question. Okay. Godwin, are you still on the call? If you're not on the call, maybe we should continue. Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm using some shortcuts. Yeah, right. I'm using some shortcuts. I think all of you have note takers. That's very good. That's very good. Okay, yeah, I'm coming. I'll tell you the shortcut as well. Okay, so I think there are a lot of questions here now. So the shortcuts, yeah. So the shortcut to create a frame, the shortcut is F. If you press F, you notice that my cursor, let me change it. This is normal cursor, right? This is normal cursor. So if you want to make a frame appear quickly, you press F, it's going to change to plus. And you notice that this whole section changed. Notice that before it's like this, with my variables and styles. So if I press F, it's going to show me the frames available, which can also be referred to as artboard. But I prefer using F so I can make use of a frame, because inside a frame, you can put stuff inside of a frame and align them using auto layout. But you cannot do the same thing with a group. I don't know if you ever thought about frames and groups. Come in. Okay, so I'll show you the shortcut to make the red numbers pop up as well. So give me a second. Give me a second. Let's listen to Chidema. Chidema, shoot your question.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
My question is based on the framings, and when you finish, maybe you finish working on a button. That is how, like, my experience. I finish working on a button, and I want to, and I place it on my frame. If I want to do any more editings on it, like it doesn't let me click it, I have to take it back out of the frame, or after inserting it in the frame, I can't even like highlight the frame. What I usually do is I go to the left hand side and I highlight the frame on that place. But my question is that why is it that if you once you place anything on the frame, like it's you can't edit it? But I see you people teaching like you keep working on the frame even after um inserting something on it. So I don't know if you understand my question.
Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. So I'm going to try one or two things, and if it doesn't solve your problem, you let me know. So you add me into your design file, and we can tackle it on the call. Okay. Okay. So let's say if I understand what you're saying clearly, or before we go to that, I want to be sure that you've understood the F I was talking about for picking out stuff from here. So if you press F, you're able to pick out any of the frames they need from here easily. And that is one of the shortcuts. So if I use any other shortcuts, I'll let you know.
Sorry, the shortcut where I saw you using something was when you were talking about if you wanted um the the shape of the size of the box to be the same thing on different screens. There was something you did, like, but I didn't see it. So it was very
Okay,
fast.
okay, this right? Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, there's something you did here.
Okay, so normally, let me delete this. So normally, I'm duplicating this box now. So normally, you can press Control D and it will be two. You get this
Um,
one is still there. You get so, but it will appear on top of each other. But
y-
if you don't want it appearing on top of each other, you want to use your hand and duplicate it and keep it where you want, you are going to press alternate. If you use Windows, we are going to press alternate and left click. It's alternate plus left click, then you now shift your mouse. Let me do that again. If you select the stuff you want to duplicate, you press alternate, left click, and then you start dragging out. Sorry, you keep your stuff on top of it, alternate left click, and you start dragging it out. Okay. Then if you now want to maintain the positioning to be the same, because this one is freeware now, if you want to maintain the positioning to be accurate together to the same not original one, you press shift. You hold shift as well. You press alternate left click and shift. Then you can start dragging it. You see, it's the same thing now. I cannot move up or down. It's just on that same line and it's equal. You see, that's that's um that's the shortcut. There's alternate left click and your spacebar. But if you now want to make it align to a particular position, vertically, horizontally, you use shift. So I just practice it. When you practice it, you are going to get better. And yeah, your other question was about using frames, stuff like this inside frame, right? Right?
um, like after doing auto layouts, when I bring
Okay.
them in.
So
I can't edit it anymore. Like I can't highlight it. I can only keep adding things to the frame. But if I want to work on what I place in the frame, I
you
it does.
cannot.
Yeah.
Okay. So you cannot walk inside an auto layout. That's what I'm saying, right?
No, like let me use the example I use. Like after working on a button,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then I insert it into the phone. This other frame that is here. Apart from these two, you place something in. If I insert it there, I can't work on it there except I bring it out of the frame.
Okay. So see what you're going to do, eh? See what you're going to do. When you are on that frame, this one, for instance, is in an auto layout. These ones are not in auto layout. These ones, you can see that it's just like a normal frame. But if I hover on this one and click on it, it's going to show you the icon for auto layouts. This is the icon for auto layout. This is the normal icon for frame. So you just have to over, you can see as I'm hovering over any of them, these blue um, strokes are showing. So if you now click on any of them, it's going to select it. Like this auto layouts now, I've clicked on it and it has selected it, but it's not selecting the content of the auto layout. So if I understand, you said that you have to go down from here to select the content one by one, right? Right. Okay. So
Yes, yes.
that means, see what you have to do now. If you have hovered over it and the blue stuff is showing and you select it, if you want to select like this box in particular, you press Control. You see it has selected that box, then you now click on it. You understand? You can now hover your mouse to the next one, and because it is two of them are inside the same auto layout, which is this one, you can select it or the brother or the sister or the brother. You can still select this one as well because now you are inside the parent of the main auto layout here. So you can make use of the contents of this auto layout easily. Okay, so all you need to do if you are inside and if you want to edit stuff inside an auto layout is press Control and click on it. Okay, so even if I type something here, I type something here and duplicate it over to this one here and this one here, and I am hovering over this thing now. You see, it's not selecting this stuff. Let me click outside for a start. You see, it's only selecting the main auto layout here. So if I want to select this content exactly, I will press Control while hovering on top of it. So you see that the blue line is now showing, right? It's now showing under it. And if you now click on it, it's going to select it. Okay, going to select it, and you can now edit it anywhere you want. All right. Okay. So I think that answers your question, right? All right. Is there any other question, or should I continue with the presentation? Okay. So going forward, let's look at I think we've talked about the grid system. So this is a layout pattern now. So let's talk about the layout patterns. So the layout patterns now, so when designing for each platform, these are important now. So when designing for mobile, mobile screens, there are things called cars, lists, bottom sheets, and the rest of them, and full width buttons which enable simple navigations as well. So talking about cards, look at here. This is a card. We normally find stuff like this in let's say Facebook, Instagram. So that Instagram post now where you see your picture with the like button, the comment button, and the share button, it's a card. Okay, it's a card on X. Posts with pictures and text is a card. Same thing for LinkedIn. Social media platforms that um, are global. Many people engage with videos and reels and pictures. Not WhatsApp. Oh. WhatsApp is family this thing, social media. But social media, official ones like LinkedIn, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Even threads. I don't know if some of you know threads. They make use of these cards. They're important. They make use of these cards. And these cards look better on mobile. Yes, because this is what tells you, okay, this is this post, oh, this is that post. Oh. If these those posts now appear like something like this one here on this my transactions page, you now see the picture here, you now see text here, it's not going to look sharp. Okay. These cards are there because they want you to look at the image. Is this image that will be here that will attract you? Then headlines and other buttons here can follow up. Okay, that's the idea. So when you are designing for a web view now, you now know that when you're designing for a web view, you are now going to make this card look in a way that is going to be okay on the web. Let's look at this thing, for example. Let's look at my LinkedIn. Sorry. Mm. I play games on LinkedIn. Don't play games on LinkedIn. Look for jobs on LinkedIn. Don't be like me. So yeah, on LinkedIn, I'm crushing it. Yeah, I know. So yeah, this is a card. This is a card now. This is a card. You can see how big it is on LinkedIn. It's very big. It's just very big. Okay, it's very big, but it's not as important as it is. It's not as important as it is like on mobile. You know how beautiful it looks on mobile. It's very important on mobile more than it is on web. It's more important on mobile. So that is why it's one of the important patterns, and it's commonly found in e-commerce stores, e-commerce applications, websites like Jumia, Temu, and the rest of them. You can see cards. Those cards now show you the products you want to buy. Those cards show you the amount, the price of that product, and a little bit of description, right? So you find these cards in mobile more than you find it on web. So the next one is lists. List. So stuff like this on my transaction shows you a list of your transactions. It's just the idea list. So if you have like a recent transaction, it's going to show you. If it's a notification, you see a list of your notifications. You understand? But this is how you position things on your mobile. You know that if I design in my transactions page, it should be a list. Okay. Okay. So you have it at the back of your mind that my transactions, notifications, pages like this are supposed to show us a list. Okay. So next one is bottom sheets. I think you can find navbar there. Navbar, like what you have on WhatsApp or on OP. Let me show you. Let me show you. So this is a bottom sheet here. These are bottom sheets. These are bottom sheets. These are bottom sheets. And I think there's one on sports here as well. Yes, this is a bottom sheet as well. Bottom sheet. So it can also be called navbar. So it's navbar. And yeah, they also enable simple navigation. So there's something called full width buttons. So the way these buttons are, they are not full width. These buttons you find here, they are not full width. Full width buttons are so wide that it covers the whole area here. And you know that, okay, this is what I'm supposed to press. So it is not confusing. Okay, it's not confusing. It's straight to the point. Just like when you want to log into any of your bank apps or to any of your applications that require like the login system. If you press that, it's only that login you will find there. If you press that login, it logs you in after you've inputted your details, your username, your password, and the rest of them. If you press that login, it's a full width button. Logins are usually full width buttons. So if you press it, is the major thing you have to do there. You know, okay, this will help you. It's a simple navigation button. Just press, you know, your login is straight up. Okay. It's not like if you now see like login, you will see sign up. You now see sign in or like forgot password on the same line. It's not possible. It doesn't make sense. Okay. It's supposed to be a full width button. That login button is a full width button that helps you know that, okay, when I click this button, I'm going inside this app with my details, provided it's correct. Okay. So when you design for desktop, make use of sidebars. Make use of sidebars plus content. So sidebars sometimes have contents under it. Think LinkedIn did they use sidebars? They use the more of navbar on top. So let me check out navbar as well on top. but this is sidebars. This is a sidebar. So this is sidebar. Although the one that Jumia used is not like the normal one you find, though, not like the normal one, but this is a sidebar. And these are the contents of this particular application appliances in the sidebar. So this is the content. So our document says sidebar plus contents. So you see different contents, each of this content of the sidebar, like this. But if you are designing, I think the common one that people use in design is these days is what they call. Let me check. Where's documents? Check here. Give me a second. Yes. So this. Sorry. You can see this sidebar here is more straight to the point. It's more simple and straight to the point compared to this one on Jumia here. This one on Jumia is more compressed and quite advanced. So this one on my Figma currently is simple and straight to the point. Okay, don't mind my network. Don't know what's loading. Don't know what's loading. Oh yeah, let's go back to what we are doing. So when you are designing for websites, make use of sidebar. We'll whip up like a sample by Wednesday, Friday. We do like a sample test, sample sidebar and content. You see tables, you see dashboards on websites, and you don't find dashboard like as wide as it is with all the content that it contains on a mobile screen. It's going to be compressed and it's going to be compressed to serve that mobile screen. All the contents of the dashboard normally that you see on the website. I need to show you something. I need to show you. I need you to. Okay, yes. For instance, this is a dashboard. This is a dashboard. So you see this content here now. All of them. The way you see this total rent amount, rent period, next due dates, and the rent plan that is going on there. You see it like this on a website, on the dashboard, sorry, because it's a web view. But you can't see it like this on a mobile screen. You can't see it like this. It's probably going to be vertical. Probably going to be vertical. I don't know if this is responsive. Okay, it's not. Okay, this is not fully responsive. But it's going to be something like this, vertical like this. You can see, right? It's going to be vertical, everything under each other. But and it will take up a lot of space here. But on the website like this, it's not vertical, it's horizontal and gives you more space below in case there are other things you want to tackle. So that the user of this particular dashboard now can see a lot of information at once. That is one advantage that what's it called? Web screens have over mobile screens. Okay. That's one advantage web screens have over mobile screens because normally websites have been made for big screens. But in today's world, people use mobiles more than they use computers and monitors and laptops. Okay, so that is why this system of adaptive responsive design have been brought so that people that use mobile phones can also use those platforms. Okay, and we are also trying to make it easy as much as possible for them to navigate these platforms with a very beautiful UI. So going forward, there is something called hover interactions as well. Yes, you find it on desktop, but you don't find it on mobile. Mobile, you just click, 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 and go. But if you are using let's go. You see this interaction here. You see this button normally. This button is orange, but if I hover over it, it becomes darker. Same thing for these accounts. It was black earlier, but if I hover on it, it's going to become orange. This is the hover interaction. This is what is called hover interaction. So it shows you that this particular section is what you are on. You can see the interaction here. Same thing for here. Same thing for here. Okay, there are no interactions on this one. But yeah, you can see the interaction here. This small stroke underneath. So yeah, um, these interactions now cannot be found on a mobile app. On a mobile app or on a mobile website, like if you're working using a website from your phone, you cannot hover. You just have to one click it, click it. You just click and go. You just click. Okay. So that's the difference. When you are and these interactions now make a user happy, makes a user happy. You can use it to play game. You can use it to play game like this. Just be feeling it. You understand? But when you're on your phone, you cannot just go straight to the point, do what you want to do, and you find your way. So that's one difference there. That's one thing in the layout patterns. So you see there are things that are compulsory for mobile and there are things that are compulsory for desktop, right? So that is why we design for different platforms. It's not the same thing that is on mobile that you find on desktop, and it's not the same thing you find on desktop that you see on mobile. Although it's going to be preaching the same news. It's just like having King James version and in Bible you have King James version, you have New Revised Standard and the rest of them. But you're still preaching the word of God, okay? You're still preaching the word of God, but you just have it in different versions, okay? So this is our last slide now. Our last slide for the night. So this is the final rule in designing for different platforms, whether mobile screen, tablets, or web. So design should feel natural to each platform. So you don't make an Android design look like an iOS. You don't shrink desktop UI onto mobile, and you are supposed to respect device sizes, platform behavior, and user expectations. When you talk about user expectations, let me start from there. You are trying to design an application that will reach user standards, that will make users comfortable when using it. They'll be like, okay, yes, this is what I expected. Thank God it's there. At least now I can do this easily without stressing myself. Let's say, for instance, if somebody wants to play game on Sportybet and normally on the website they can fund their accounts through OP. But when it was made responsive for mobile, they cannot find that button to deposit money, just like they used to deposit from their laptops. They cannot find the button easily on their phone. And they expected the button to be found easily, just like it was found easily on the web. It's going to be a mess. Okay, it's going to be a mess. They cannot be able to play those games they wanted to play from their phone, which brings about a loss to the company. Okay, it's a loss because not much people will have these big screens, monitors, laptops, and the rest of them. A lot of people use mobiles. Okay, so if these people cannot play these games from their phone, they cannot deposit this money from their phone. That means the UI was not designed to meet their expectations, and that UI now is going to bring them a huge amount of loss, right? You're going to bring them a huge amount of loss. So when you design, you respect the device size, the platform behavior, and user expectations. So in order to meet user expectations and not fall into issues like this, you carry out research. I'm sure you've been talking about research. So before you start designing an application, you carry out research. You know what users are expecting. If your mind is telling you that, okay, let's design an app that will be giving people 50,000 every day, then you'll be like, how does this thing help users? Will users benefit from this? You have to carry out a research on certain demography. You tell them, okay, we want to bring something that will be giving you people 50K every day, but you have to do this, you have to do that. How do you feel about this? Or what do you think we should do so that this will be better? Stuff like that. So you carry out research, and from that research, you know what users are expecting of you in that your platform, in that application, or in that website you are trying to bring to them. Okay, so it's very important. And when they say don't make Android look like iOS, it's part of what we said, I think, in the second slide. If you are designing for an iOS, you make it clean, minimal, smooth, with rounded corners, blur effects, and simple icons. And they know that, okay, what you have designed is for iOS. But when it's more colorful, more structured, and it's bold, it's given, with shadows and expressive component, dynamic themes, and quite a lot of other things, you know that when somebody sees it, they automatically know that it's for Android. Okay, so you don't take the design guideline for Android to go and design for iOS, and you don't take the guideline for iOS to go and design for Android. Okay, it doesn't make sense, right? So I think that is all for today's class. And if you have any questions, now is a good time. Now is a good time. Hmm. Fatima, you need the slides. I'm sure. Just I will send a message on the group chat. Yeah, or no code dev is my name, just like I said earlier at the beginning of the class. For some of you that joined late, I am your no code dev, but my papa named me Darlington. Yeah, my papa named me Darlington, but my name is also your no code dev. You see your no code dev on the group chat. That is me. So you can direct your questions to me on the group chat, and you can ask about the slides. I'll send it to you on your DM. Okay, send it to your DM if you need it. So yeah, is there any other question? Because we'll be taking on Wednesday. We're talking about responsive design. You see how you design for different screens at the same time while designing for one screen. Make use of auto layouts. I don't know, probably most of you will have issues with auto layouts currently. It's not an easy stuff, auto layouts for real. It's not an easy stuff. Okay, yeah, my social handle. Let me type it in the comments and the chat section here. So I think is sorry, it's not I think it's your no code dev on all socials. You can find me on LinkedIn, on X, on WhatsApp, and where else can you find me? Okay, I just mostly LinkedIn and X. Yes, and on Instagram as well. How about margins and rows? So our design link at the top or bottom of the screen. Okay, yes, you can also do that. You can also do that. Let me show you an example. You can you said this is here before. So we can add going to be great. Mhm. You see how it is here? The only issue there now is it's not widely used by a lot of people in the industry. But to make things easier for you, you go with this first of all. Then probably you find a frame. If you want to give a spacing of let's say 40 on top for your navbar and for normally navbars are normally found at the bottom of the screen. Okay, so it depends on what you are doing. But if you want a space on top of like 40, you can channel this thing. Let me make it obvious. So this will give you a guide. So you see the height here should be like 40, right? And every other thing can start from under it. So this is going to go up. So this, yes, exactly. I just remember something. One of you asked me how I do this. So you see the space in between. So if you select what you want and then you hover onto the next one, you want to find the space in between, you press alternate, it's going to automatically appear. So let me check the space between this circle and this one. Press alternate after hovering, you see it's 10. So I will now want to reduce the space between this one and our spacing box that is 14 heights. So the space in between is 2, and we already have this one selected. You can just use your arrow key to go up 1, 2. Okay. Otherwise, you can select both of them and look here. This is 2. You can click it, change it to 0, and you have 0 spacing in between. Have 0 spacing in between. So now you can start from here and continue your design. When you are done, you can hide this. You can hide it from here, and it's not going to affect you, and it will still keep your margin okay. All right. All right. So did that answer your question, Debbie? All right. So shoot your questions. keep treating your questions. I was saying that yeah, we will discuss how to use constraints, auto layouts. Yeah, auto layouts are probably difficult for a lot of you currently, and we will tackle it more from on Wednesday. Yeah, and with a little bit of practical, with a little bit of practical. Then on Friday, we will design a web, a tablet view of that same web screen, and the mobile view of that same web screen. Okay, and make it responsive as well at the same time. So we see how it works, and then you get your assignment for this week. Okay, you get assignment. It's going to be a simple assignment. I expect you all to perform very well. A list of shortcut codes. Do I? No. No, I don't think I have a list of shortcut codes, although you will get to learn it. Don't worry, when you keep practicing, it will always be at the back of your. But you can always come to Figma, come to this help and resources down here. You find shortcut. I think there should be something like keyboard shortcut, yes. So if you click it, you see show/hide UI. I think the button is this apostrophe, a small apostrophe at the top here. You can pick color with I. You can look at actions with Control K. So shortcut for tools now. Go to tools, move to V, see frame F, the one I told you, frame is F, pen to P, pencil to shift P. So you see shortcut for tools here. For view is Control plus plus normally, and the rest of them. So you can see shortcut for view, ruler. So this ruler you see here, this ruler helps me a lot. This ruler, so you can activate it on with Shift R. R is for ruler, Shift is the control. It's like the button you click, add two of them together to activate your ruler. So you see layout guides. So this layout guide, now that we went here to activate, you can click on a frame like this and press Shift G. It's going to appear. They now set it up. So these are shortcuts as well. Zoom, Control plus, Control minus, zoom in and out, and the rest of them. This is a shortcut for text, shortcuts for shapes. You can see them, shortcuts for selection, for cursor, for editing, alt, and the rest of them. Expose, transform, arrange, and components layout as well. So let me put this thing. So no, let me leave it. So this is you can find your shortcuts from here. Okay. Although there are still some shortcuts you will not find there. Okay. There are still some shortcuts you will not find there. And yes, you can ask ChatGPT just like Max Success said, you can ask ChatGPT. But if you are not sure of any shortcut, you can still ask me in DM, okay? I will tell you the shortcut. And I don't write code. Sorry, I don't write code. But I can be designing while playing Burna Boy song. Don't judge me. I like Burna Boy. I like Rema and the rest of them. So I can be designing and I'll be vibing to. So that's what UI designers refer to as their own vibe coding. Since you don't write code, you don't know. So we open Spotify. Our Spotify here is always here waiting for me. I come on Spotify, go to my family plan, I put it there, and I put my pods, and I'm streaming my design. I'm going forward. You understand? Okay. So Friday design will be high fidelity, certainly. Okay. If you want a high fidelity, we do high fidelity. Okay, we do high fidelity. It's going to be dope. We do high fidelity. Do high fidelity. And I should add you in my family plan. Hey, I'll think about that. Okay, I'll think about that. Think about that. So I hope you all had a wonderful session. I hope you all had a wonderful session with me. And going forward, I like the attendance. You guys are keeping up. I'm very happy that you guys have stayed up to week 5. For real. It's not easy. You have like this week and 3 more weeks to be like BB UI UX designers. Then you take on projects and get better. Okay. It's a beautiful milestone that you guys have covered. I'm very happy and I'm proud of you guys. It's not easy. I was once like you people. I'm still like you people. Don't take it like that. I'm still like you people. I keep learning every day as well. So yeah, anywhere you find issues with what we discussed today, just text me from the group chat. I'll drop a text on the group so you know that it's me. And if you have any issue from your former classes, so from this current one, bring it to me as well. I will sort it, okay? And yes, somebody is saying that they don't understand the high fidelity and low fidelity. Uh, uh, okay. Maybe we'll make our time. If you can finish up early on, I think today we used about 1 hour. So from 8:30 to 9:32, use like a 1 hour or 50 something minutes today, aside questions. So if you can also do it like this, you can use extra 30 minutes to 10 p.m. on Wednesday to talk about high fidelity and low fidelity, okay? Yeah. So in the absence of more questions, I think that'll be all for this night. See you guys on Wednesday. Have a lovely evening and good night. Remember to eat dinner or drink a lot of water, is very important.